Last week, the National March for Our Lives tour made its stop in Greensboro, North Carolina, where I had the privilege to go out and interview some of the rally attendees. When I asked their opinions on the Second Amendment and what the solution was to the gun problem, I was given numerous answers. But the top three reoccurring answers were: 1. The Second Amendment applies to a well-regulated militia. 2. The Second Amendment is outdated. And 3. Certain types of guns should be illegal. While it's obvious to people that understand the Constitution that these arguments are faulty, let's go through why they cannot be upheld. First, the Second Amendment applies to a well-regulated militia. The left uses this argument to infer that the Founding Fathers only intended guns to be in the hands of a militia. So what is a militia? A militia, by definition, is simply a term that applies to all able-bodied men capable of coming together to overthrow a tyrannical government. So when we start implementing gun control, we are limiting the ability for a well-regulated militia to form, which leaves us defenseless against an overpowering government. Number 2, the Second Amendment is outdated. The liberals use this argument to insinuate that the Founding Fathers never could have known that our guns would become this advanced and capable of mass murders, so it's therefore invalid. So should that same argument be applied to all the other amendments as well? Should freedom of speech not be applied to online formats because the Founding Fathers never could have imagined such a thing? If they're going to make the argument that the Second Amendment is outdated, then they need to be prepared to make the same argument for the rest of the amendments as well. Number 3, certain types of guns should be illegal. While this argument ties into the previous two, I want to come at this from a historical point of view. Let's take one look at the history of previous dictatorships in socialist countries. What was the first thing they did? They disarmed the public. Consider Stalin, Hitler, Mussolini. They all took guns out of the hands of the people, which gave all the power to the national government, making it impossible for a well-regulated militia to be formed. Disarming the people leaves us at bay to complete submission to the national government. The minute we start placing strict rules and regulations on guns, we, as the American people, put ourselves at risk to being taken over by a tyrannical government. So if Trump is the fascist president that so many liberals believe that he is, why in the world would we want him to have complete control of our guns, leaving us with no way to protect ourselves? This liberal logic where gun control is concerned poses so many faults that it almost disqualifies itself. As for myself and my fellow conservatives, we'll be keeping our right to bear arms. With Big League Politics signing off, I'm Sonny Joy Nelson.